Jai Maharaj, Hare Krishna, Namaste, Namaha, Namaha, Namaha. Did you have an on-site kirtan project ready to go?
Okay. We have Radhesha.
It's just a one person though.
One-man band.
That's great.
Namo Vishnupadaya Krishna Prishthaya Bhutale Gurudas Jayadvaita Swami Namo Vishnupadaya Krishna Prishthaya Bhutale Srimate Bhaktivedanta Swami Namo Namaste Saraswati Devi Gauravani Pacharya Nirvishesha Shrimad Paschatya Deshataya Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare
Jai Om Shrivad Purnam Supri Pradikacharya Stotra Sri Srimad A.C. Bhakti Vedanta Swami Maharaj Prabhupada Ki Jai Ananta Koti Vaishnava Vrinda Ki Jai Namacharya Srila Haridas Thakur Ki Jai Prem Se Kaho Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shivasadi Gaur Bhakta Vrinda Ki Jai Sri Sri Radha Krishna Gop Gopinath Sham Kund Radha Kund Giri Govardhan Ki Jai Vrindavan Dham Ki Jai Navadip Dham Ki Jai Jagannath Puri Ki Jai Ganga Mai Ki Jai Jamuna Mai Ki Jai Tulsi Devi ki jai, Bhakti Devi ki jai, Samaveta Bhakti Vrinda ki jai. All glories to the assembled devotees. All glories to the assembled devotees. All glories to the assembled devotees. Go Premanande. Hari Bol.
Thank you so much, Maharaj, and thank you, Radhesha Prabhu, for the kirtan. Welcome everyone for Sri Chaitanya Charitamrita with His Holiness Jayadvaita Swami. It is Thursday, November 7th, 2024 in New York, and tonight we're starting with Sri Chaitanya Charitamrita, Adi Lila, Chapter 10, text number 85.
I think we still have 3 paragraphs of 84.
Very good. Yes, I remember I have notes for 84, but I wasn't sure if we've moved on, so that's great. Text number 84, the final 3 paragraphs. Jai.
We've got 4, final 4 paragraphs.
Okay, so just you can clue us into the text that begins that paragraph.
Do a what?
How does the text begin?
The paragraph starts in the Madhya Lila, chapter 19.
Yeah, that's where I am.
Good. Good. Okay, super. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. So if you give me a moment, I'll get back to that text and we'll read the verse and then we'll pick up from where we left off. All right, so text number 84. We'll just chant the verse and then we'll pick up with that text in the purport. Anupama Valabha Shri Rupa Sanatana Etina Shaka Vrikshera Paschime Sarvotama. On the western side were the 43rd, 44th, and 45th branches, Sri Sanatana, Sri Rupa, and Anupama. They were the best of all. And so, in the Madhya Lila, chapter 19, the device adopted by Sanatana Goswami to get free from government service is described. He served a notice of sickness to the Nawab, the Muslim governor, but actually he was studying Srimad Bhagavatam with Brahmanas at home. The Nawab received information of this through a royal physician, and he immediately went to see Sanatana Goswami to discover his intentions. The Nawab requested Sanatana to accompany him on an expedition to Orissa. But when Sanatana Goswami refused, the Nawab ordered that he be imprisoned. When Rupa Goswami left home, he wrote a note for Sanatana Goswami, informing him of some money that he had entrusted to a local grocer. Sanatana Goswami took advantage of this money to bribe the jailkeeper and get free from detention. Then he left for Benares to meet Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, bringing with him only one servant, whose name was Ishana. On the way, they stopped at a sarai, or hotel, and when the hotel keeper found out that Ishana had some gold coins with him, he planned to kill both Sanatana Goswami and Ishana to take away the coins. Later, Sanatana Goswami saw that although the hotel keeper did not know them, he was being especially attentive to their comfort. Therefore, he concluded that Ishana was secretly carrying some money, and that the hotel keeper was aware of this, and therefore planned to kill them for it. Upon being questioned by Sanatana Goswami, Ishana admitted that he indeed had money with him, and immediately Sanatana Goswami took the money and gave it to the hotel keeper, requesting him to help them get through the jungle. Thus, with the help of the hotel keeper, who was also the chief of the thieves of that territory, Sanatana Goswami crossed over the Hazipur mountains, which are presently known as the Hazaribags. He then met his brother-in-law Sri Kanta, who requested that he stay with him. Sanatana Goswami refused, but before they parted, Srikanta gave him a valuable blanket. Well, this is a tremendous amount of information. Perhaps we can pause in between paragraphs and see if there's some discussion and some words from Maharaj. Om Jnanatimirandasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshurun Militam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha Vansha Kalpatarubhyascha Kripa Sindhubhyevacha Patitanang Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shivashadi Gaur Bhaktivinoda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. One thought occurred to me as I was reading this paragraph that here we are hearing descriptions of the most prominent branches of the Chaitanya tree, Sanatana Goswami, Rupa Goswami, and Anupama. Srila Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami says that they were the best. And so here are the most prominent devotees of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. And yet, at the same time, because these pastimes are taking place in the atmosphere of the material world, here we hear of them having so much difficulty, of being threatened with murder on their way to see Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. And I'm sorry? Yeah, Bengali mob. And it calls to mind this pastime of the, I don't know the Bengali for it, but too much devotion denotes a thief or connotes a thief. I'm not sure of the verb there, but
Ati Bhakti Charan Lakhan.
yes,
Charan Lakhan.
yes,
Ati Bhakti Charan Lakhan.
yes, Ati Bhakti. So, Sanatan Goswami picked up on this right away, being a very wise person, and understood that there was trouble brewing in the form of money being held by his servant Ishana. So it's just interesting, the psychology involved. We're dealing with pure devotees, and they're trying to navigate their way through the material world safely, prudently, wisely, and they understand that when there's too much devotion, there's a thief. And so let's get rid of the money and carry on with our business. Let's not be overburdened by things. So that's exactly what Sanatana Goswami decided to do in this instance. Hare Krishna. Maharaj, perhaps you have some more to say here.
No, this is a summary of coming attractions.
All right. Radhesha Prabhu, if you have the text, we can hear you very clearly as we did with your kirtan. So if you'd like, you can continue with the purport if you don't mind.
Somehow or other, Sanatana Goswami reached Varanasi and met Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu at the house of Chandrasekhar. By the order of the Lord, Sanatana Goswami was cleanly shaved and his dress changed to that of a mendicant or Babaji. He put on old garments of Tapanamishras and took prasadam at the house of a Maharashtrian Brahmin. Then, in discourses with Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, the Lord himself explained everything about devotional service to Sanatana Goswami. He advised Sanatana Goswami to write books on devotional service, including a book of directions for Vaishnava activities, and to excavate the lost places of pilgrimage in Vrindavan. Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu gave him his blessings to do all this work and also explained to Sanatana Goswami the import of the Atma Rama verse from 61 different angles of vision.
Namo Vishnu Padaya Krishna Preshtaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swaminiti Namane Namaste Saraswati Deve Gaudavani Pracharane Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Pashpati Deshatara. It's a small point amidst all these this great history of Rupa Sanatana, but Prabhupada mentions that Chaitanya Mahaprabhu asked that Sanatana Goswami be cleanly shaved, and where the pastime is described in detail, Prabhupada says that the followers of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu consider beards objectionable. So it's a clear direction. Even though Sanatana Goswami was going to dress as a Babaji and live as a Babaji, still he was to be cleanly shaved because Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and his followers considered beards objectionable. So in this day of holy beard festivals, it's worth taking on board that Chaitanya Mahaprabhu considered beards objectionable. So why then should we present ourselves in a way that the personality of Godhead, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, the founder of the Sankirtan movement, would consider objectionable? If we're going to focus on Sankirtan, then it would be fitting to take into account the desires of the founder of the Sankirtan movement, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, and also his representative, Srila Prabhupada, who also objected to his followers having beards. Hare Krishna.
Thank you so much, Maharaj. Hare Krishna.
Sanatana Goswami went to Vrindavan by the main road, and when he reached Mathura, he met Subudhi Roy. Then he returned to Jagannath Puri through Jharikanda, the Madhya Pradesh jungle. At Jagannath Puri, he decided to give up his body by falling down beneath a wheel of the Jagannath Ratha, but Chaitanya Mahaprabhu saved him. Then Sanatana Goswami met Haridas Thakur and heard about the disappearance of Anupama. Sanatana Goswami later described the glories of Haridas Thakur. Sanatana observed the etiquette of Jagannath's temple by going along the beach to visit Lord Chaitanya, although it was extremely hot due to the sun. He requested Jagadananda Pandit to give him permission to return to Vrindavan. Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu praised the character of Sanatana Goswami, and he embraced Sanatana, accepting his body as spiritual. Sanatana Goswami was ordered by Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu to live at Jagannath Puri for 1 year. When he returned to Vrindavan after that time, he again met Rupa Goswami, and both brothers remained in Vrindavan to execute the orders of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Namo Vishnupadaya Krishna Krishnaya Bhutale Gurudas Jayadvaita Swami Niti Namah. I just want to say one small thing, that I grew up on beaches. That's where I was born and raised. And I never understood these statements because I read them about not being able to tolerate the heat on your feet. And then I lived in Puri for 7 months, and the stretch of sand from the water all the way to the road or to where it changes from sand is such a long stretch, and that sand never gets touched by water in some places, and it's very deep and somehow absorbs heat. And it was the first time I experienced how intolerable it is. I had to sprint across the sand in certain places to make it to the water. It's so hot, it will burn your feet. And so understanding that then this pastime takes a much greater depth of gravity, that he was able to walk so far to see Chaitanya Mahaprabhu by a route that is very painful. All right, last paragraph. The place where Sri Rupa Goswami and Sanatana Goswami formerly lived has now become a place of pilgrimage. It is generally known as Gupta Vrindavana, or Hidden Vrindavana, and is situated about 8 miles south of English Bazaar. There, the following places are still visited: the temple of Sri Madan Mohan Didi, the Keli Kadamba tree, under which Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu met Sanatana Goswami at night, and Rupa Sagara, the large pond excavated by Sri Rupa Goswami. Oh, 3 things. A society named Ramakeli Samskara Samiti was established in 1924 to repair the temple and renovate the pond.
Thank you so much, Radhesha Prabhu. Any other points, any other questions or comments based on this, or any words from you, Maharaj, here? Okay. So, let's see. Is there someone else there in your immediate vicinity who would like to read the next verse, text 85?
Okay, we'll see. Rakesh seems willing.
Well, before we get to Rakesh Prabhu, we have a question, comment from Saraswati Devi. Pranams Param Puji Maharaj and all the Vaishnavas. Not to be impertinent, but I believe Advaita Acharya had a beard and Ramananda Rai had a mustache. So could there be exceptions to the rule that Lord Chaitanya's followers always have to be clean shaven?
There's a difference of opinion about whether Advaita Acharya had a beard. I think the predominance of the evidence points to no, but in any case, it's not a settled question. Ramananda Roy had a mustache. Ramananda Roy is also one of a kind. Ramananda Roy, there's no second person like Ramananda Roy. So first become Ramananda Roy, then grow your mustache.
I was thinking also, Maharaj, if I might say that the exception proves the rule, and if Advaita Acharya, in fact, did have one, he's also the personality of Godhead, so.
Yes. It wouldn't be much of an issue, except that Srila Prabhupada himself chose to highlight it. We would just pass over it and say, okay, Sanatana Goswami was asked to shave, so what? But Prabhupada himself chooses to highlight this incident and speak to it as a principle. And so I'm just repeating. Hare Krishna.
तन्र मध्ये रूप सनातन बड़ शाखा अनुपम जीव राजेंद्रादि शाखा. Among these branches, Rupa and Sanatan were principal. Anupama, Jiva Goswami and others, headed by Rajendra, were their sub-branches. In the Gaur Ganudesh Deepika 195, it is said that Srila Jiva Goswami was formerly Vilas Manjari Gopi. From his very childhood, Jiva Goswami was greatly fond of Srimad Bhagavatam. He later came to Navadvip to study Sanskrit, and following in the footsteps of Sri Nityananda Prabhu, he circumambulated the entire Navadvip Dham. After visiting Navadvip Dham, he went to Benares to study Sanskrit under Madhusudana Vachaspati. And after finishing his studies in Benares, he went to Vrindavan and took shelter of his uncles, Sri Rup and Sanatan. This is described in the Bhakti Ratnakara. As far as our information goes, Sri Jiva Goswami composed and edited at least 25 books. They are all very much celebrated and they are listed as follows: Harinamamrita Vyakaran, Sutra Malika, Dhatu Sangraha, Krishnarcha Deepika, Gopala Virudavali, Rasamrita Shesha, Sri Madhava Mahotsava, Sri Sankalpa Kalpa Vriksha, Bhavartha Suchaka Champu, Gopal Tapani Tika, commentary on the Brahma Samhita, commentary on the Bhakti Rasamrit Sindhu, a commentary on the Ujjvala Nilamani, a commentary on the Yogeshwara Stava, a commentary on the Gayatri Mantra as described in the Agni Purana, a description of the Lord's lotus feet derived from the Padma Purana, a description of the lotus feet of Srimati Radharani, Gopala Champu in 2 parts, and 19 to 25 7 sandarbhas like Krama, Tattva, Bhagavad, Paramatma, Krishna, Bhakti and Prati Sandarbha. After the disappearance of Srila Rupa Goswami and Sri Sanatana Goswami in Vrindavan, Srila Jiva Goswami became the Acharya of all the Vaishnavas in the Bengal, Orissa and rest of the world, and it is he who used to guide them in their devotional service. In Vrindavan, he established the Radha Damodar temple, where after retirement we had the opportunity to live from 1962 until 1965. When we decided to come to the United States of America, when Jiva Goswami was still present, Srila Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami compiled his famous Chaitanya Charitamrita. Later, Srila Jiva Goswami inspired Srinivas Acharya, Narottam Das, Thakur, and Dukhi Krishna Das to preach Krishna consciousness in Bengal. Jiva Goswami was informed that all the manuscripts that had been collected from Vrindavan and sent to Bengal for preaching purposes were plundered near Vishnupura in Bengal. But later he received the information that the books had been recovered. Sri Jiva Goswami awarded the designation Kaviraj to Ramachandra Sena, a disciple of Srinivas Acharya's, and to Ramachandra's younger brother Govinda. While Jiva Goswami was alive, Srimati Jahanavi Devi, the pleasure potency of Sri Nityananda Prabhu, went to Vrindavan with a few devotees. Jiva Goswami was very kind to the Gaudiya Vaishnavas, the Vaishnavas from Bengal. Whoever went to Vrindavan, he provided with residence and prasadam. His disciple Krishnadas Adhikari listed all the books of Goswamis in his diary. Should I continue?
Yes, unless there's any comment.
It's
Carry on.
okay. I have 1-2 questions, Maharaj.
Yeah.
So here it's interesting how Prabhupada is writing that Jiva Goswami, after Rupa and Sanatan, Jiva Goswami became the Acharya for the Vaishnavas all over the world. So how do we understand this? And there was another thing, Prabhupada is mentioning, we came to America after, like, as far as I've heard, Prabhupada was alone on the ship. So what does he mean by we?
So became the spiritual master. It's not that he initiated everyone, but he was the Acharya, or the guide for the whole Gaudiya Vaishnava community. At some later point, it's mentioned that Jahanavi Devi became the leader for the Vaishnava community. So, you sit on that. So, so it's not official. As far as we, this is what's known as the royal we. It's really first person singular, but in a sort of formal style. Queen Victoria is reported to have said, "We are not amused," which means I. But Prabhupada uses it not in a royal sense, but he often uses we in the sense of first person singular.
Okay, continue. The Sahajiya's level 3 accusation against Sri Jiva Goswami. This is certainly not congenial for the execution of devotional service. The first accusation concerns a materialist who was very proud of his reputation as a great Sanskrit scholar and approached Sri Rupa and Sanatan to argue with them about the revealed scriptures. Srila Rupa Goswami and Sanatan Goswami, not wanting to waste their time, gave him a written statement that he had defeated them in a debate on the revealed scriptures. Taking this paper, the scholar approached Jiva Goswami for a similar certificate of defeat, but Jiva Goswami did not agree to give him one. On the contrary, he argued with him regarding the scriptures and defeated him. Certainly, it was right for Jiva Goswami to stop such a dishonest scholar from advertising that he had defeated Sri Rupa Goswami and Sanatan Goswami. But due to their illiteracy, the Sahajiya's class referred to this incident to accuse Sri Jiva Goswami of deviating from the principle of humility. They do not know, however, that humility and meekness are appropriate when one's own honor is insulted, but not when Lord or the Acharyas are blasphemed. In such cases, one should not be humble and meek, but must act. One should follow the example given by Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Lord Chaitanya says in his Shishastakam, Trinadapi sunichena taroriva sahishnuna amanina manadena kirtaniya sadahari. One can chant the holy name of the Lord in a humble state of mind, thinking himself lower than a straw in the street. One should be more tolerant than a tree, devoid of all sense of false prestige, and should be ready to offer all respects to others. In such a state of mind, one can chant the holy name of the Lord constantly. Nevertheless, when the Lord was informed that Nityananda Prabhu was injured by Jagai and Madai, he immediately went to the spot, angry like fire, wanting to kill them. Thus, Lord Chaitanya has explained his verse by example of his own behavior. One should tolerate insults against oneself, but when there is a blasphemy committed against superiors such as other Vaishnavas, one should be neither humble nor meek. One must take proper steps to counteract such blasphemy. This is the duty of a servant of a Guru and Vaishnavas. Anyone who understands the principle of eternal servitude to the Guru and Vaishnavas will appreciate the action of Sri Jiva Goswami in connection with the so-called scholar's victory over his gurus, Sri Rup and Sri Sanatana Goswami. Another story, fabricated to defame Srila Jiva Goswami, states that when Srila Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami showed him the newly completed manuscript of Sri Chaitanya Charitamrita, Jiva Goswami thought it would hamper his reputation as a big scholar and therefore threw it into a well. Srila Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami was greatly shocked according to this story and he died immediately. Fortunately, a copy of the manuscript of Sri Chaitanya Charitamrita had been kept by a person named Mukunda, and therefore later it was possible to publish the book. This story is another ignominious example of blasphemy against a Guru and Vaishnava. Such a story should never be accepted as authoritative. According to another accusation, Srila Jiva Goswami did not approve of the principles of Parikiya Rasa of Rajdham, therefore supported Swakiya Rasa, showing that Radha and Krishna are eternally married. Actually, when Jiva Goswami was alive, some of his followers disliked the Parikiya Rasa of the gopis. Therefore, Srila Jiva Goswami, for their spiritual benefit, supported Swakiya Rasa, for he could understand that Sahajiyas would otherwise exploit the Parikiya Rasa, as they are actually doing at the present time. Unfortunately, in Vrindavan and Navadvip, it has become fashionable among Sahajiyas in their debauchery to find an unmarried sexual partner to execute so-called devotional service in Parikiya Rasa. Foreseeing this, Sri Jiva Goswami supported Swakiya Rasa, and later all the Vaishnavacharyas also approved of it. Sri Jiva Goswami was never opposed to the transcendental Parikiya Rasa, nor has any other Vaishnava disapproved of it. Sri Jiva Goswami strictly followed his predecessor Gurus and Vaishnavas, Srila Rupa Goswami and Sanatana Goswami, and Srila Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami accepted him as one of his instructor gurus.
Well, this goes back a long time, this tendency to defame established Vaishnavas by nasty rumors and concocted stories and all sorts of probably ignominious accusations. So now, of course, this is have been made global by social media. One can get on there and say anything nasty, and someone will believe it. As with these stories, they're only mentioned because they got some traction. Some people thought, oh yeah, and after all, he is proud, and blah, 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 blah. So this tendency to envy those who are advanced, acharyas, has been present since a long time. Hare Krishna.
Thank you so much, Maharaj. Hare Krishna. There's a comment question from Murari Gupta Prabhu. This is going back to our discussion about beards, I believe. He says, I heard that Srila Prabhupada also wasn't keen on turbans because they were associated with another well-known group. Can anyone confirm that?
I can't. Never heard anything about it. And,
Hare Krishna. Thank you for reading, Rakesh Prabhu. Tulsi Priya, please go ahead if you
Oh, okay.
want to read. We're on text 86.
Yeah, just a moment. Oh, is this gonna work?
I'm going
Turn your mic off. Okay. Text 86. Malila Ichaya Shaka Bahuta Badia Paschima Desha Saba Dila. By the will of the Supreme Gardener, the branches of Srila Rupa Goswami and Sanatana Goswami grew many times over, expanding throughout the Western countries and covering the entire region. Text 87. Asindhu Nadi Tira Ara Himalaya Amahimalaya Vrindavana Maturadi Yata Tirthahaya, extending to the borders of the river Sindhu and the Himalayan mountains. These two branches expanded throughout India, including all the places of pilgrimage such as Vrindavan, Mathura, and Haridwar. Text 88. Dvisakara Premapala Sakala Vasila Prema Hala Lasvade Lokam Unmata Haila. The fruits of love of Godhead, which fructified on these two branches, were distributed in abundance. Tasting these fruits, everyone became mad after them. Text 89. Vashchimera Lokasabha Mudha Anachara Tahan Pracha Rila Donghe Bhakti Sadachara. The people in general on the western side of India were neither intelligent nor well behaved, but by the influence of Srila Rupa Goswami and Sanatana Goswami, they were trained in devotional service and good behavior. Purport. Although it is not only in Western India that people were contaminated by association with Muslims, it is a fact that the farther west one goes in India, the more he will find the people to be fallen from the Vedic culture. Until 5,000 years ago, when the entire planet was under the control of Maharaj Parikshit, the Vedic culture was current everywhere. Gradually, however, people were influenced by non-Vedic culture, and they lost sight of how to behave in connection with devotional service. Srila Rupa Goswami and Sanatana Goswami very kindly preached the bhakti cult in Western India, and following in their footsteps, the propagators of the Caitanya cult in the Western countries are spreading the Sankirtana movement and inculcating the principles of Vaishnava behavior, thus purifying and reforming many persons who were previously accustomed to the culture of Malechas and Yavanas. All of our devotees in the Western countries gave up their old habits of illicit sex, intoxication, meat eating, and gambling. Of course, 500 years ago, these practices were unknown in India, at least in Eastern India. But unfortunately, at present, all of India has been victimized by these non-Vedic principles, which are sometimes even supported by the government. So, Magyana Timirandasya Gyananjana Shalakaya Chakshurun Militam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. So, a couple of questions come to mind here. I don't really have anything to comment, but I have a couple of questions I think which Maharaj may answer if he wishes. It says until 5,000 years ago, when the entire planet was under the control of Maharaj Parikshit, the Vedic culture was current everywhere. Gradually, however, people were influenced by non-Vedic culture. So my question is, if the entire planet was under the operating under Vedic culture, what culture was able to influence them to not become Vedic, or has there always been those who lived outside of the Vedic culture, and then gradually they became more predominant?
There's
If that
always
makes
a,
sense, maybe on the fringes of Vedic culture, but like I think like the Adivasis are considered outside of Vedic culture and such, or did something arise?
there's always some heterodox.
Can you turn your sound up?
Mhm.
Oh, okay. I'm going to turn my mic. You're muted, Maharaj.
Sorry, you're muted.
I shouldn't be muted. Am I still muted? Can't be heard?
Okay.
No?
Okay.
We're good.
We're good. Okay. There's always some heterodox element. The some lower class, there's always something, just like uh, beards. So who's wearing beard? They're ISKCON members, but somehow or other, someone wears a beard, and then it becomes the thing that we should all have beards. And without a beard, you're sort of less qualified. So it's not an item of Vedic culture. It's not something appreciated by Srila Prabhupada or Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, but somehow or other it catches on, even from within the society, and then this objectionable item becomes highly esteemed. So that sort of a archetypical example.
Maharaj, hold on, he has to turn off. So following up on that, I've recently heard of a term called weaponized compassion. And I've been around in ISKCON long enough to have experienced this concept of, or this practice that, if you're not in line, somebody will come down heavy on you and give you the sauce, and then there's always been a section, it's like, oh, we shouldn't be so judgmental, we shouldn't be so heavy, we shouldn't be so this, we shouldn't be so that. So like, let's say somebody was coming around and was wearing a beard, and some fired up brahmachari or whatever might have said, that's lower class, you shouldn't do it, and the person's feeling gets hurt and they don't go away. So in the name of being more tolerant and more compassionate and not discouraging people, we stop criticizing or chastising or reprimanding or correcting people that are not doing things according to the standard. And in that way, it gradually becomes the standard. The non-standard thing becomes the standard, or at least accepted as an alternative standard. And I don't know if that's the correct way to look at it, but it almost seems like, things don't
It's a judgment call.
I'm sorry?
It's a judgment call. One has to determine in any particular circumstance whether to make an issue of something or whether to leave it go. One has to consider according to the particular person, circumstance, what to do. So that requires good judgment. It's not just a question of whether you're right wing or left wing. It's a judgment. Discretion.
Thank you. There's a comment in the chat. You want me to read the comment? Okay. Panchatattva Prabhu says, nowadays, Rajasthan in the west of India has, at least from all the maps I've looked up, the highest percentage of vegetarians. And oddly, these maps from different sources seem to concur that the further east you go, the lower the percentage of vegetarians. Of course, this isn't including what is now Pakistan.
Yeah, everything is, we're reading from quite older literature now. Things change.
Thank you, Maharaj. Okay, next comment is from Saraswati Mataji. From what I understand, there were many followers of Vallabhacharya and Vallabhacharya himself that preached vigorously in Gujarat or Rajasthan, where there were many Vaishnavas in the time 500 years ago. So how could those Western states be not following bhakti? There are many famous devotees of that sampradaya that came from those Western states.
Yeah, I really can't comment on this. What Prabhupada had in mind when he says that it's a fact that the further west you go, the more people have departed from Vedic culture. Of course, Bombay is there, but Bombay is not really, it's in the same class as Delhi and Calcutta and any built up westernized city. Maybe Bombay is the leader among them, and of course it's the movie capital. So, but Bombay is exceptional. It's not that the rest of Maharashtra is like Bombay. So I really can't comment here when, it's like somebody talking about America and the Midwest is like that and the Bible Belt's like this. If you're not from America, you may not really have much insight into those things. So that's sort of where I stand. Of course, Gujarat is particularly a stronghold of Vaishnavism, and very much appreciated for that. So, and yes, you have Vallabhacharya there, and in Maharashtra, Tukaram. So, really, as a Videshi, as a foreigner, I don't really have much insight into what Prabhupada means here. But we can certainly say that once you leave India and go west, then it really takes a dive. The most fallen of the Indians looks good, of Indian cultures look good compared to what we find in your common American town. At least in India, the villages would still be pious, but in America, every town and village is a place of degradation, practically speaking. So, again, Hare Krishna.
Didn't you say, Guru Maharaj, in the early days of ISKCON, even within America, the Eastern devotees felt like the Western devotees were a little more...
Yeah, and I won't comment on the current situation, but yes, in New York, we considered the devotees in the West Coast loose, and from as far back as the 1968 when I joined. So again, one has to be close to the situation, because from another point of view, of course, the devotees on the western side of America took the lead in distributing books and so many other things. So finally, it's not Eastern, Western, it's wherever we find Vaishnavas, we appreciate their devotional service.
Tulsi Priya says, thank you, Maharaj. And Panchatattva Prabhu says, could Srila Prabhupada be referring to what was classical India, including Pakistan?
Could have been. But again, it would have been. But again, I don't have much to say about it.
Then Saraswati Mata says, thank you, Maharaj. Hare Krishna. We're getting close to our time, but our next verse has a rather short purport. I was seeing Panchatattva Prabhu says, a lot has changed in India since even the 1970s. Panchatattva Prabhu, would you be able to read our text 90 for our last reading of the session?
I should be disqualified for arriving so late to class, but if you insist.
I insist.
Shastra drishtye kaila lukta tietera udhar Vrindavane kaila Srimurti sevara prachar. In accordance with the direction of the revealed scriptures, both Goswamis excavated the lost places of pilgrimage and inaugurated the worship of deities in Vrindavan. Purport. The spot where we now find Sri Radha Kund was an agricultural field during the time of Caitanya Mahaprabhu. A small reservoir of water was there, and Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu bathed in that water and pointed out that originally Radha Kund existed in that location. Following his directions, Srila Rupa Goswami and Sanatana Goswami renovated Radha Kund. This is one of the brilliant examples of how the Goswamis excavated lost places of pilgrimage. Similarly, it is through the endeavor of the Goswamis that all the important temples in Vrindavan were established. Originally, there were 7 important Gaudiya Vaishnava temples established in Vrindavan, namely the Madan Mohan Temple, Govinda Temple, Gopinath Temple, Sri Radha Raman Temple, Radha Shyamasundar Temple, Radha Damodar Temple, and Gokulananda Temple. Brilliant examples. Hare Krishna. Guru Maharaj, would you like to say something?
Just that it's significant that they didn't just establish these places by mental concoction or imagination, even inspiration, but they followed Shastra Drishya, indications of Shastra. Hare Krishna.
Hi, Maharaj. Thank you very much. Thank you, Panchatattva Prabhu. We're at 7:52 Eastern Time, and it's time enough for Kirtan if there's a assembled Kirtan outfit there in Mayapur.
Yeah, we've got enough men.
We'll take information. Yes.
You haven't led yet.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna,
Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Jai Om Shrivad Paramahansa Prajak Stotra Shri Srimad A.C. Bhakti Vedanta Swami Maharaj Prabhupada Ki Jai, Ananta Koti Vaishnavrinda Ki Jai, Namacharya Sridhar Haridas Thakur Ki Jai, Prem Se Kaho Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shivasadi Gaur Bhaktivinoda Ki Jai, Shri Shri Radha Krishna Gopinath Sham Kund Radha Kund Giri Govardhan Ki Jai, Vrindavan Dham Ki Jai, Navadip Dham Ki Jai, Jagannath Puri Ki Jai, Ganga Mai Ki Jai, Jamana Mai Ki Jai, Tulsi Devi Ki Jai, Bhakti Devi Ki Jai, Samaveta Bhakta Vrinda Ki Jai. All glories to the assembled devotees. All glories to the assembled devotees. All glories to the assembled devotees. Gaur Premanande.
Thank you, Maharaj. Did you have something more, Maharaj?
Just thanking Mahesh Prabhu for the kirtan.
Yes, thank you, Mahesh Prabhu. Thank you, all the Mayapur Kirtaniyas. There was a comment that came in during the kirtan. Panchatattva Prabhu extended centuries later than the Goswamis. Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur, following the example of the 6 Goswamis, did extensive research and discovered the birthplace of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, which was confirmed by the ecstatic dancing of the aged Sri Jagannath Das Babaji.
Yes.
Thank you, Panchatattva Prabhu. Thank you, everyone, for your comments, questions, listening, and being here. Sri Chaitanya Charitamrita ki jai. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. His Holiness Jayadvaita Swami Maharaj ki jai.
Samaveta Bhakta Vrinda Ki Jai. Gaur Jai.
Thank you, Guru Maharaj. Thank you.
Thank you, Panchatattva Prabhu. Hare Krishna.
Thank you, Maharaj.
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna. Thank you.
Good night.